This is a video about making bread. This is extremely simple and the result will be extremely elegant. We have 4 ingredients. The first ingredient is flour, 2.5 cups of white flour. Second ingredient is 10 ounces of water with some yogurt mixed in. You decide how much yogurt, but it should be a total of 10 ounces of liquid. And the third ingredient is, well, actually there are 2 ingredients here. There's 1 teaspoon of yeast, fast rising yeast, and 1.5 teaspoons of garlic salt. So there you have it. All of the ingredients are here. Flour, liquid, and yeast and garlic salt. Next, I will show you what I do with these ingredients and how easy it is to create a dough that won't require any touching whatsoever. And now, the only tools that we're going to be using are a heavy fork, sturdy. Uri Geller cannot bend this fork, and a bowl to mix the dough. The first thing I do is I put the yeast and salt in the bowl. Here you have it, yeast and salt in the bowl. Next, I pour the liquid in the yeast and salt that I just put in the bowl. I take my tool, the sturdy fork, and I mix this like that. Get it all mixed up. So we have a liquid that's already starting to smell very good, actually. And then we just take the flour and dump it in wholesale, just like that. Now, here is the trick. This looks like it's going to be an ungodly mess, doesn't it? Take a look. However, and this won't take but a minute, I'm going to mix the flour in the liquid that I had. And notice the kinds of motions that I'm doing, scraping the sides of the bowl and going into the center and mixing it. And pretty soon, it's going to look manageable. And by the way, it's smelling good already. Anticipations of the aroma of freshly baked bread. So, oh, look, see what's happening? Oh, look at that. See? Looks like dough, doesn't it? Now, this is the kind of dough that what your grandmother would have done is to knead it with her fingers. Forget about that. That would be very, very inconvenient and messy. So now, getting this, just continue that side against thing, that. And, oh, I take it back. I'm going to do a very slight touch here because look, see? I don't want that on the fork. I want that back in there. So I'm going to take one finger. Here's a finger. And I'm going to go like this. And like that. And like this. And like this. And now I have to rinse my finger and rinse the fork. This is done. Stage 1 is done. I'm going to find a cover for this. And I'm going to put it in a nice room temperature warm place. And it has to sit for an hour and a half. Nature will proof it. And in an hour and a half, I will show you what we have here and what the next step will be. So now that the bread dough has proofed for an hour and a half in a nice warm room temperature environment, we're going to see what it looks like now. And here is, I'm going to take the cover off. And this is what it looks like. You see that it has expanded, and you can even see that there is an occasional bubble in there. So what needs to be done now is I'm going to take my tool right here, and I'm going to perform the following operation. Now watch carefully. This is called degas and stretch. So notice that I'm coming around like this, and the dough's going to get a little bit smaller because the gas in there is being dissipated. So you make that dough smaller, and you try to get it all to stay together and not stick to the sides so much, and you'll find that it's quite well behaved. And I'm going to spray it with non-stick vegetable oil cooking spray as follows. Bottom, sides, sides. Okay, now watch the way the dough plops into this pan. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but watch. If you do this with your tool, you'll see that the dough is actually liberating itself from my metal pan just because of the motions that I'm making. And now I'm tilting this, letting gravity do its work, coaxing the dough along, gets dropped into the pan, and I am not touching the dough at all. And see, it's all out of the pan, and it's into here. Now, the only thing you want to do is to shake it up a little bit and even it out, maybe even go like this. Nah, I wouldn't do that too much. And finally, at this stage, you take a washcloth like this and you cover the dough that's in the baking pan. And now, this is step 2. We're going to let this sit and proof some more for 30 minutes. Okay, now that we have given the bread its second proof, which lasted 30 minutes, with the washcloth on top, you see what has happened now. It has risen a little bit more. It looks exactly like this. And it is ready to be inserted into a 400-degree oven for 40 minutes, which is exactly what I'm about to do now. Timer is set for 40 minutes, and we'll see you when it's done. The bread is now finished, and you can see what the result looks like right here. I'm going to put it on the cooling rack, so I'm going to take it and turn it upside down like that, and you see what it looks like on the underside. What a beauty.
Okay.